Hey everyone, good evening. It is the last day of February. That's right, it's Thursday, February 28, 2018. How are you? Good evening. Thank you for stopping by. Thanks for watching. How's it going? Alrighty, well, that's it, right? 4 weeks is February, right? That's it. And it's all but in the can, so I hope you had a good one. I hope you made it through the month. We're now well into 2019, so I guess now we quit writing 2018 on the tops of stuff, so that's a good thing. So I hope you've successfully passed that. If not, well, keep practicing. You'll get it. I guarantee it. So, good evening. Tonight's topic is Thursday, and Thursday means it's leadership. Leadership lessons in leadership. We're talking about leaderships, and so I want to really get things off on the right path first. What is leadership? I know we hear it all the time. What is leadership? We hear teachers stand up on stage and call their kids leaders. But are they truly leaders? They don't have the experience. They don't have the schooling yet. They don't have the education. And the self-development is slowly getting there. But are they truly leaders? So you got to be careful when you stand up or somebody stands up and calls somebody else a leader. Make sure that it's because they are leaders, they're being recognized as leaders, and they're sharing and creating more leaders. Because if they're not creating leaders, they are not true leaders. And I want to use the military's example. The military's example is getting somebody to do something that they don't know that they want to do, but they're going to do it willfully without coercion or anything like that. And that's technically it in a roundabout sort of way. So it also now has been added on is that leaders create more leaders. That's how we have leaders. So they create more leaders. So just by standing up on stage and you have a microphone and say, these are my leaders, they're not. They're not. Because again, who is a leader? What is a leader? Is it your boss? Well, some people will say, yeah, the boss is a leader. Some people will say, no, the boss is just a boss. What about your teacher? Is your teacher a leader? They're in a position of leadership. They're in a position of educating and training, but are they true leaders? Again, are they making leaders? Or are they just going through the motions to collect that check for Margarita Fridays? Your parents. Yeah, your parents are definitely leaders because a lot of times what they do, we follow until and if it's the wrong thing that we're following, we grow up, we realize it's the wrong thing, and either we like it and we continue to follow that, or we change our ways. But no and ifs or buts, our parents are leaders, whether they like it or not, whether they're ready for it or not, whether they believe that they are leaders or not. It doesn't matter. They are leaders. That's just what parents are because, again, they're forced into that situation that they put themselves into. So ready or not, parents, you are a leader. Your friends, are your friends leaders? Or do they see you as a leader? Again, question, are you making more leaders? Do they make more leaders? Are you around those friends that you say are leaders because they see you as a leader? And so you know what happens when people get together of the same type? Leaders around other leaders, they make more leaders because everybody wants to be around these people. Everybody wants to be around the leaders, not the popular kids. Not the popular kids. Again, that's a separate definition. That's because somebody put it inside their heads. Oh, he's cute, she's pretty, or this or that, and then therefore nobody else is called that. Therefore, they become the popular kids. You know what that's called? That's called the quarterback syndrome. That's right. It's called the quarterback syndrome because look at the NFL. Who are the quarterbacks? The good-looking guys. Why? Because again, throughout their childhood, growing up, what happened? They got the ball. Hey, I want to pick you on my team. You're a good-looking person. You're on my team. But does that make them leaders? Again, we question that. Do they have the experience? Do they have the schooling? Do they have the education? And do they have the wherewithal to say, hey, I need to take these steps if I want to become better? So you become better. A lot of times you have these NFL professional quarterbacks. They did what they had to do to get better and to stay better and to stay on top. They just had that one-up advantage. And the same thing happens. So sure, maybe the teacher standing up on the stage will say, yeah, these are leaders. And it might sink in, and it might not. But again, be careful, because it starts creating a false sense of security, a false sense of measure, a false sense of who they truly are. It's when they actually hit the ground running, they've left school, they've left the teachers behind, they've left the parents, now they're on their own, and it's their time to shine. or time to come running back home because mom and dad did not prepare them, because the teachers did not prepare them, because they chose not to be prepared, and so they come back running home. So again, leadership is a very fine line. It's very difficult, but what do you do? What do you do? You keep working at it. That's what you do. So to be a leader, you have to keep working at it, and don't stand up and say, oh, I'm a leader. Folks, I'm far from being a leader, but I guarantee you one thing. I'm doing everything I can to make more leaders, make new leaders, make my kids leaders. I'm working at that. And this, I know I'm biased. They're my kids, but you know what? I'm also going to hold others accountable to themselves. And in doing so, it hopefully will inspire them to be leaders, to take that thing, because it's like, well, if I can hold myself accountable, then who else can I hold accountable? Now they're thinking in that right mindset. Not to pass the blame, not to pass the buck, but to inspire people to do better for themselves and be better individuals than they were before. So again, what is a leader? Somebody who's got the experience, somebody who's got the education, and most of all, somebody who's got the self-development, who decides in their mind, I'm going to step up, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do the dirty work, I'm going to go dig those foxholes, I'm going to go run up to the front lines, I'm going to, and not for sake of glory or reward or anything, but because it's got to be done, and they recognize they're the ones that can do it. And that, my friends, is how you make leaders. Not because your teacher told you to, not because mom and dad told you to, or not because you were picked first for kickball. No, but because you decided, you stepped up and you said, you know what? I'm going to do this. Nobody else is doing it. I'm going to do it. And that's usually how leaders are born, when they realize, you know what? It's got to get done. So that being the case, folks, think about it, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. I'm Dave Guerra. This is Let's Have a Chat for Thursday, February 28, 2019. I'll see you in March.